Hello. So today's case law, which we are going to discuss, is Ediga Anamma versus State of Andhra Pradesh. So this is a series of case laws which shapes the way we see the current India. So in this case, in Adiga Anamma versus State of Andhra Pradesh, it's a landmark judgment. It's talked primarily about the death penalty. Okay, it's all about death penalty, when death penalty should be given or it should be turned into the lesser sentence, and what are the philosophy around it. So it's all about that. So understand this case. The first thing very important to understand, what are the characters involved into the this particular case, what exactly was the story behind it, so that we able to remember it and be able to relate it with the things. So what happens in this particular case is that uh, a young woman and her infant, a child, got killed. And so let's try to understand. There was a woman. She was married, but she was having affair with some other guy. And while they were having affair, a girl's father-in-law caught them, and they forced her out of the house. This girl living somewhere nearby, and where she was living, uh, she have a neighbor. She's also married and have a child, and she also got in some sort of a relationship with the same guy who was having relationship with this girl, who was got caught by his her father-in-law. So now this guy starts also having a relationship with her neighbor. So in a way, it's a triangle, right? A love triangle which got created. So this girl uh, got envy. Okay, and she felt like, oh no, man, I can't share my love with someone else, and she decided to kill her neighbor. So what happened in this? This guy, the neighbor, and her daughter, which was around only 10 years old, which when she were going for on in the field, so she this Adiga Anamma, this lady, killed them, and damaged their face so that no one is able to identify who they were, cut their bodies, throw them into the river. That all those sort of things happened. So this gruesome murder took place. Okay, and what happened was that after a lot of investigation, it found out that okay, these two uh, murder was done by Adiga Anamma. So under section 302, which talks about the punishment for murder because it's a murder, and 201, which is talks about the disappearance of evidence because she, chops their faces, cuts their body, throw it in the river. So obviously she tried to disappear the evidence. So under IPC these section, the case was formed, and later point of time, the person who created this sizzle also confessed that okay, yeah, this is the lady who asked him to create this sizzle, which was used by her to perform this murder. So and along with that, the lover also confessed and confirmed the complete story. And then trial court held her death penalty because obviously she committed a gruesome murder, right? And then high court also said that okay, yeah, whatever the judgment has been given by the trial court is right, and there should be a death sentence for them. Okay, but what happened is that this case goes to Supreme Court, saying that is this conviction right, and can this death sentence be converted into the life imprisonment? Okay, so this is a very interesting thing. Like, it's well known, fact is now very much clear on the ground that she did the murder, but still cases reaches up to the Supreme Court saying that can we convert this death sentence into the life imprisonment? Because what law says that you can we can give under criminal procedure code 367 5. It clearly says that murder sentence can be sentenced to death. But if the minor punishment is getting assigned, then the reason can be given in writing. So judges many times have the opinion that there should be some factors based upon which they should be deciding when to go for the death sentence and when to go for the lesser sentence, and some of the founding rules which was established during that period of time. So that's the change which happens in the way of looking to the human life, because it's been considered that the life sentence is more humane punishment. Okay, and death sentence to life sentence conversion should be done on the basis of age, gender, socioeconomic condition under which the offense was committed, what was the gravity of it. So those all things should be taken into consideration before deciding whether to give it the death sentence or give it life imprisonment. Okay, so some of the important factors which Supreme Court laid down at that period of time, saying that we have to see that the accused is too young or too old, because depending upon that, you have to see that what type of life you are giving, because you do not have a power to give the life. How can you have the power to take the life? That's the type of philosophy which is there. There's socio-economic and psychic compulsions, social pressure concerning whatever the case matter which is being decided by the courts. And obviously, if co-accused award a lesser sentence, then obviously we have to see that whether to go for a death sentence or not, or we can go for a lesser sentence. Or if it's like in an act of a sudden instigation, if someone have done some act or committed a murder, so can we go for a lesser sentence? So these are the criteria. That's why whenever we see that even though we know that murder has been taken place, those case goes longer, because there's also consideration and the discussion around that whether to go for the death sentence or whether to go for the life imprisonment. So that's the reason that it takes time in our judicial system to decide the case to fit into the right bracket or uh, right frame. So in this particular case, even though two murder was done by Ediga Anamma, uh, considering their age, considering her age, because she was young and the mother of a young boy, okay, and she was expelled from the conjugal home, means her father-in-law caught her and moved her out, so she was alone. So taking in all these things together, like in this should not be taken each individually, but yeah, taking all these things together, court finally decided, Supreme Court, that instead of going for a death sentence, it's better to go for a life sentence. So that's the change which happens into the judiciary form. So if that's why we see that, and slowly this transition happening starts happening, that death sentence become is only awarded in the rarest of the rare case, and the rest of the cases it's more of a life imprisonment and other things which is getting awarded. So yeah, that was the this case. I hope that you got to learn something good. Please share your views, thoughts, and if you want to know more about such cases, please subscribe. Thank you.